Hello, my name is Kirk Kreiner. We're going to be going over proper IV setup today. What you're going to be needing is 1,000 milliliters or 1,000 cc's of a 0.9 sodium. It's the only type of fluid that we carry. You will either need a mini drip or a 60 drops per minute, or a 20 or maxi drops per minute, and an extension set. So the first thing that you would want to make sure of when asked to set up an IV is to make sure that the ILS tech or whoever that has told you to do it expresses either the mini drip or the maxi drip, if you don't already know yourself. Basically, you would want the maxi drip for any type of trauma. It'll deliver more fluid in a drip rate versus the mini drip that has the little needle in the bulb section, and we'll show you that later. That'll concentrate the drops per minute more precise when a patient doesn't need fluid, just to keep the vein open. Okay, and you can see here on the 60 or the mini drip, the little needle inside the bulb area, contrasted with the maxi or 20, there is no needle at all. It's more of an open hole to deliver more fluid. So when properly selecting which one you need, please be very aware of which one is requested. You can see that the 60 has a little bit darker chamber to help you if you can't find the needle. Okay, so we are ready to begin once we know which setup that we are going to be performing in the ambulance while the patient's being ready. So we have our fluid, which is a 0.9% sodium chloride, the only fluid that we use. Inspect the bag for any condensation inside the bag, any discoloration. You want to check your expiration date, make sure you're not expired. Up at the top, you have cutaways to make it easier to open the bag. The bag slides out very nice. Okay, again, inspect the bag. Don't want any discoloration in the fluid. Everything's nice and clear. And grab our extension set. And you notice that everything is in a sterile wrapper. This is a sterile procedure that needs to be kept sterile as much as possible. Grab at the top, fold open. And we are going to be using the 60 or the mini to show you the drip rates. Okay, so the first thing we do is we grab our main section here, which is the mini drip with the needle, slightly brown in color. You want to bring the stopper up as much as possible and clamp it. And you can see here on the extension set, we have two ends, a blue and a white. But when you look at the whole piece in general, you'll see that the medication port is pointing down towards the patient, which would be the blue end. So if you're ever confused on which end to pull off, check your medication port. Because this end is the sterile end, we don't want to remove that cap. Keep the cap on, very important. So we remove the white cap. You take the end of your mini drip in this case, take the cap off the end, and you notice that there is a lure lock and a lure hub. Attach the extension set and lock it in place. Okay, so now that we have our IV tubing and extension set firmly attached, we're going to take our IV fluid, which in this case sodium chloride pop off the top. Keep fingers away from this sterile end. Take your mini drip or 60, pop off the top, keeping fingers and other debris away from this sterile end, and push straight down into the bag all the way until it won't go anymore. Okay, now that we have our bag properly spiked, we turn it right side up, and you notice that there's no fluid exiting into the chamber. That's because we have clamped it earlier. If you had not clamped it, once you turn the bag upside down, fluid would run freely through the chamber and into the tubing, creating a lot of air and a lot more of your fluid to get rid of that air at a later date. So by clamping it first is a good idea. At this point, pinch, let go. And we notice that our chamber is almost halfway full. Try to get it halfway. Another little pinch. You notice that the fluid is starting to come down the tubing with no air bubbles at all in it. And that's the reason why we clamped it first. So now when we open this up to evacuate the line, nothing but fluid. The only problem that you may run into if you are not careful is puncturing the neck with your tip. If you go in at an angle and not pay attention, you can pierce it. But be sure to tell somebody so we can restock your mistake. What we don't want people to do is use their orifices. It's not sterile anymore.